Welcome, everybody, to the latest episode of the Purple Knights podcast. I'm here with a good friend, a great guy, a DJ, a party host, um, all around life of the party, Mr. Alphonso Starr. How you doing, Alfonso?
Ah, man, I'm doing okay. I'm blessed to be alive, blessed to live another year, man.
Yeah, I had the pleasure to meet you um, by chance through a mutual acquaintance on Facebook, and we started talking, and it's kind of funny because we almost hit it off immediately. Um, I remember I was drawn to the sound of your voice. I still am. You kind of got that calm, soothing, deep tone, kind of like Fridge did. Um, so I was immediately drawn to that, and it just seemed like you had a very um, cool, very calm, reassuring, warm spirit, and I almost immediately connected to it. So um, I'm grateful to know you, and I definitely consider you a friend. So um,
Absolutely, man.
thank you for the friendship over these last few years. And
Yes.
then we met at one of your
At my
star
star party.
star parties, Star
Yeah,
Party 3, I believe it was, um, at the Pourhouse
at the Pourhouse. Yeah.
in Minneapolis, which is usually an annual event, but sadly it had to be canceled this year. But hopefully it'll come back strong next year. And
Yeah. I canceled it in 2020 and 2021,
yep,
and then I brought it back in 2022, and I believe that's the one you were at. You were at the one in 2022.
Paula and I, we met a lot of great people there. We met Mary Johnson from Rochester, Minnesota, who's
Yep.
one of the greatest portrait artists that I've ever had the pleasure of
Fantastic.
knowing.
Yep.
Um,
Fantastic artist.
Shout out to Mary. I absolutely love her. She's such a sweetheart, and
Yep.
met her there and just had a great time. You're such a great host and a great hype man and a great DJ. And we were talking the other day, and like you said, man, there's something about a star party. Other people, throw Prince related events, in and around Minneapolis, either in April, you know, the anniversary of his passing, or in June, the anniversary of his birthday.
Right.
But there's something about the energy and the vibe of star parties that's on a whole different level. So I'm I really
Thank
can't wait. I really can't wait until the next one. So
Thank you
um
for recognizing that, man, because one of the things that I say about, you know, the events that I do, my cruise or the Star Party, I never will say that they're because I'm not trying to compete. I would never will say that they're better than any other event. What I will say is they're different. And you go to my event and you go to some other event and you can just see and feel the difference. There is a
right,
difference. There is a
right,
difference. And
right.
so I'm glad you recognize that, because you were there. You've experienced it, and I'm sure you've been to other events too. It's just different. It's just different.
Oh
That's the
yeah,
word that I like to use, different,
oh
but
yeah,
not different in a bad way, different in a good way.
right.
So, and
The,
people never forget it. People never forget it, man. It's just you know,
I mean, the vibe that I noticed about the Star Party that I was at was just a real, it was at a higher vibration, so it was really positive and really it felt like a family when I was there. It felt like we were all
yeah.
family. We were all part of this, purple collective or purple singularity, as my good friend Richard Cole liked to say on his podcast. But yeah, I really felt the camaraderie, and then I really felt the excitement and the upbeat energy and just the all around positive vibes. It was really, really nice, and like I said, met a lot of nice people there. Um,
Was that the year, I think it was, when I had Terry Jackson up there on percussion?
yes, yes,
Yeah. And so that's another thing that I do because I'm an outsider. You know, I'm from San Francisco. So here I am flying to what we call the Purple Motherland. So what I do is to bring in locals so they can be a part of it. So Mary Johnson is a local.
right,
Terry Jackson grew up with Prince, you
right,
know.
right,
Jonathan Ross, who was on guitar, is a local. And
right.
I do believe I had Kim Darden there, who does, t-shirts and all that kind of stuff. She's a
Yes,
local.
yes,
So I try to bring in the locals and have them be a part of just that's my way of showing support for the locals because I'm
yes,
an outsider. I'm a guest there, you know.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. But you do such a great job with the star parties, and also hearing about this, Lovesexy cruise. That sounds really exciting and enriching as well. And yeah, just overall, the work that you do is very, very positive, and it's a very, very positive um, piece of the purple tapestry and the fan community, and sort of enriching the legacy of this man and his work that we all know and love.
yeah,
And you're a big part of that, the positive faction of the purple community in that respect. And I like not to brag or you know sound like a narcissist or anything like that, but I count myself among the positive people in the purple fan community,
yeah,
and I always try and have a positive outlook, a positive sense of things to come. As we move forward and navigate these posthumous waters of Prince's um, career and legacy. But yeah, I mean, you're a big part of that, and you're a shining example of someone in the purple community that promotes and encourages positivity and togetherness and love and just all that. So I really appreciate that. That really resonates with me, and I'm really grateful to be able to know and connect with great people such as yourself in this very diverse and eclectic uh, fan community.
yeah.
So,
And and I'm a part of it. I am a fan. I'm a fan first before anything else, man.
yep,
That's why. And I'm a fan and I'm also a facilitator,
right,
And so um I've been a Prince fan since 78, since Soft and Wet. When I first heard Soft and Wet on the radio, me and my people that live here in San Francisco, we thought it was a woman singing the song, to be honest with you. And
yep,
so many other people did from what I hear,
yep.
and
I
we didn't know it was
remember
like,
I remember Wendy Melvoin said that in an interview as well.
yeah.
When she
So we're
first
like,
heard "Soft and Wet," she's like, "Who's the lady singing that song? It's such a great song." But yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah, yeah. So, and it wasn't until I saw the album cover For You and I see this guy with a big afro. I'm like, ooh, this is a guy singing this song.
Yeah,
Didn't matter because a good song is a good song, you
right,
know?
right.
And so that's what pulled me in. I'm like, wow, this is good stuff. And then the second album, Prince, I mean, there's just so many the early albums, the late 70s and all the early 80s or most of the 80s, you liked every song on the album. Every song,
Yep.
you know. Um, And then, you know, one of the things that I admire about him the most, he was always evolving. And so,
Yes.
and his energy could not be matched, probably even by some of his bandmates. And so, I saw an interview with Wendy. They did a show in Japan, and at the end of the show, he smashed his guitar, and she said she knew that that was the end of the revolution.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, no disrespect, but he's like, okay, I've done my due diligence with this crew. I'm going to keep it moving, but I'm going to keep it moving with a different and younger crew.
Yep.
And they were eventually named the NPG, you know?
Right.
And there was one holdover for a while, and then even he was replaced. Who was the one holdover from the revolution who was in the beginning of the NPG?
My friend Matt Fink.
Exactly. Yep. I
Shout
had a
out to
conversation.
shout out to the doctor.
That's it. I had a conversation with Matt Fink at an event that we were at in New Orleans. And I asked him, I said, hey, man, the revolution's out there, putting on shows. NPG is out there putting on shows. I said, how does both bands feel about that? Do you guys like each other? And he said, yeah. He says, I'm cool with it. He says, if you really think about it, I was actually in the NPG. I was in the beginning of it. I said, what? And then I did think about him like, oh yeah, you were, So he's the one that brought that to my attention, that he was the one holdover who was from the revolution, who was in the beginning of the NPG.
So how did so you started out as a DJ in San Francisco. Um, how, where, and when did you get the idea for the Starr Party events and the Lovesexy cruise and just all the promotional stuff you do in the purple world? How did
So
that all
the
come about?
so the Star Party came about when Paisley Park was having celebration in April, and I knew people would be flying in from all over the world to be, myself included, coming from San Francisco, California.
Yep.
I thought to myself, I want to host an event, a party, for these people who are going to be there from all over the place. Um, and I want to host it in Minneapolis because people were coming to Minneapolis, even though Paisley Park is in Chanhassen.
Right.
Um, so I started looking for places, and I stumbled across this Pourhouse place. I'm like, whoa, I like this. And the Pourhouse reminds me of a mini First Avenue, actually,
Yes.
because it has two levels and not as big as First Ave, but it kind of reminds me of a mini First Ave. But I really like it because it has the monitors all the way around the room and then the big projection screen in the back. I'm like, I like this place.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of off the radar a little bit. Everybody knows, like the number one venue in Minneapolis, the one that all of us out of stater and out of country people know, is First Avenue.
Yep.
Okay. The second most popular venue in Minneapolis for us out of staters and out of country people is Bunkers.
Yep.
And then all the other places are second, third, and fourth and fifth. But those
Yep.
two places, people know those places, people been to those places. Those places are on the radar with us out of state and out of country people.
Yep.
So, but the Poorhouse is off the radar. I've never heard of that place. So um, they apparently have stuff going on there all the time, but I don't hear about anything. I guess I'm just not dialed in. Anyway, so my party was on a Monday night, and that weekend before that Monday night, Minneapolis had like one of the worst blizzards ever. So bad that it shut down that airport, and that airport never shuts down. They take off and land planes and snow there all the time, but this was so bad they had to shut down the airport.
Yep.
Well, because it shut down, a lot of people who would have been there didn't make it.
Yeah.
And so that bummed me out. So anyway, I had 125 people there. It was a good party. Smaller, but a good party, especially in a place that can fit 800 people upstairs
R-
and down.
right. Right.
But the people had fun. So then the following year, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna move this a little closer. I'm gonna move it a little closer. So I moved it to a Wednesday of the same week of celebration.
Yep.
Celebration starts on Thursday. I had
Yep.
my party on Wednesday. And just by me doing that, the numbers like quadrupled. I had like 350 people there.
Wow.
That was in 2019.
Yep.
And then I'm like, okay, I got something going good here. This is pretty
Hmm.
cool. And then it didn't happen in 2020, didn't
Yeah.
happen in 2021.
The
Brought it
pandemic.
back in,
Yeah.
the pandemic killed it. Brought it back in 2022, but by then the estate had moved celebration to June.
Right.
Well, I wasn't going to jump on the June bandwagon because there's too much stuff going on. So I just kept it consistent. It's always going to be on a Wednesday, always at the Pourhouse, always near his departure date, always near the 21st.
Right.
You know what I mean? So last year, or not last year, but no, yeah, last year we had it on April 20th. It was the day before his departure date, you know?
Okay.
Um, and then this year, had it happened, it would have been on April. Well, no, I wasn't going to do it on a Wednesday. So this year, April 21st is on a Sunday,
Yeah.
and that's too far away from Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I tried to move it to Friday, April 19th, and the
Yeah.
Poorhouse wanted a crazy amount of money. And my star parties don't make money, they lose
Right.
money. Well, yeah, for the most part, they lose money because I give away and make so much stuff and don't charge that much. And they could charge, I'm not there to make money. I'm there to just put on an event for people to come to and have a good time.
Right.
Right. But it's not a money making event. But at the same time, I don't want to lose money. So I can't guarantee that kind of money. I can't guarantee that they'll even get $1,000 in drink sales. I don't know how many people are going to show up to these parties. And so I said, I can't do that. I can't guarantee that. I don't have that kind of money.
Right.
So, and then I tried to get Bunkers, and Bunkers is like, oh, we're committed to having live music on Fridays, So, because that would have been a cool alternative place to have it. I know for a fact people would have gone to it if it was at Bunkers on Friday night, April 19th.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then I tried to get First Avenue 7th Street entry, and it was taken.
Yep.
So then I said to the universe, I guess it's not meant for me to have it in 2024. So it's not going to
Right.
happen this year.
Right.
So my
Right.
focus now is my cruise.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about that.
The Lovesexy cruise started in 2016 on a boat that can accommodate 120 people. Boat is really expensive out here. Shoot. And so it sold out, but it sold out 2 weeks before the cruise in 2016. So then when I had it in 2017 and I announced that we were gonna bring it back and do it again, it sold out in 9 days.
Wow.
I know. So I was like, whoa, okay, we got something going here. So then in 2018, we graduated to a bigger boat. We went from a boat that can accommodate 120 people to a boat that can accommodate 340 people.
Awesome.
And
Awesome.
that sold out, but that didn't sell out until probably about 2 weeks before the cruise also.
Yep.
Then in 2019, same boat, um, I had 275 people, so we were down about 40 people.
Yep.
Okay. And then the pandemic killed it in 2020, killed it in 2021. Um, I didn't want to do it in 2022 because I still felt that was too soon. So then last year, I went back to the original boat. I said, okay, the last time I had it, the numbers were lower. So maybe it's not there anymore. Maybe it's lost its appeal. So I went back to the original boat, which can accommodate 120 people.
Right.
And like it did the second year, those 120 tickets were sold in a week. So I'm like, shoot, got to go back to the bigger boat. So and that boat cost freaking cost so much money. It cost $15,000 to rent the boat, man. So
Wow.
anyway, I know. So anyway, so I went back to the bigger boat, and then I had to hustle hard because I'm like, okay, I need bodies in there so this thing pays for itself. And
Right.
I hustled and hustled and hustled and promoted and promoted and promoted. And finally, probably about 3 weeks before the cruise, it sold out, 340 people.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
That's awesome.
I always have Martin Kimber as my vocalist. Martin Kimber is a fantastic vocalist, singer. Um, I always have him on the boat as my special guest. And last year we were really lucky and blessed to have Toya Gaines, which is Rosie Gaines' daughter. She was on the boat, and they did a duet together.
Wow.
Yeah, they sang "Nothing Compares to You" together, and it was fantastic, man. It was
Yeah, yeah.
it was really good. So
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah. Shout out to Martin Kimber. Uh
yes,
he was at I believe he was at Star Party 3 because that's
he,
when I met him as well.
yep,
And of course I had a passing familiarity with Color Me Bad in the 90s. I mean, who didn't? You know, they blew up in the early 90s, so
right, right,
um everybody knows that song I Want to Sex You Up,
yep.
um an R&B classic. But yeah, Martin is just unbelievable, unbelievable singing talent. And Martin is somebody that I would love to get as a get as a guest on the Purple Knights podcast in the near future. So, um, Martin,
Let me
if you're seeing this by chance, reach out to me and we'll see if we can make something happen. All right?
let me tell you why he and I are friends. I gravitate, Chris, to humble.
Yes.
I used to work in radio. I worked in radio from 91 to 94 out here in San Francisco, Wild 107 radio.
Yep.
So I've met I've met or been around a lot of well-known singers and actors and professional athletes who came through the radio station, right?
Yep. Yep.
Sadly, most of them, because they had a hit song on the radio, or they had a big movie in the theaters, or they were on a professional sports team that was doing well, most of them weren't nice. They looked down at you and they talked down to you.
Yeah.
So it left a bad taste in my mouth about meeting famous people. And to this
Right.
day, I still feel the same way. I'm like, okay, that person's going to be there. All right, whatever, because that person's probably not even nice. And I don't hear about that person doing anything nice for people who aren't as fortunate as them. So I'm not starstruck. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I met Martin in 2018, and he was singing at an event out here. Actually, it was 2017. He was singing at an event out here, a Purple Party, and I had heard about him, and I'm like, Color Me Bad. And so then I looked him up, and Martin is not an original Color Me Bad. I met the originals. I was working in radio when the original group came out. He's not one of the
Okay.
original four. Okay.
Okay.
Martin is either second or third generation Color Me Bad.
I see.
All right. All right. So, but nonetheless, Martin is a fantastic singer, and you got to be a good singer to sing with those guys because those guys can sing. Right.
Yes.
Okay, so Martin's out here doing a show. I got to the event late. Martin Kemmer's on stage singing, but I got there late, so I'm just seeing all my people that I know and saying hi to people. My back was to the stage, and then I hear Martin hit like a high note, and all these people start screaming and stuff. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. So let me turn around and pay attention now. So now he's got my attention, right?
Yep.
And I'm like, oh wow, this little white guy can sing. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Okay. So then he ended the whole thing with he sang I Want to Sex You Up. Women are going nuts, screaming and stuff. It was pretty cool, right? It's pretty badass. All right.
Yeah.
So after a performer, especially like a well-known performer, but I didn't know who Martin was, but a lot of people there did, but I didn't. But most well-known performers, after they perform, you don't see them anymore after that. They typically dip out some back door or they go upstairs in VIP section and they segregate themselves from the general public.
Right.
Okay. So now the DJ comes on. DJ comes on and he's playing good songs and he played some song that I like. Then that got my attention also. So I turned around and looked up on the stage just to point to the DJ and be like, hey, that's my jam. Good song. And when I look that way, who do I see on the floor dancing with people? Martin Kember.
Yep.
And so then I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. This is the same guy who was just on stage 10 minutes ago having people screaming and stuff. And now he's on the floor with us, the regular
Yeah.
people. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
And so from that point on, I said, "Oh, I got to meet this guy. I got to meet this guy." So finally, when he stopped dancing and he was walking towards the bar, I said, "Hey, man, I just want to meet you, man. First of all, you're a fantastic vocalist. You got some serious pipes on you. But second of all, what I like about you is you're out here with us. You're out here with just the regular people, man. Like you're one of us. Like you're not a big superstar or anything like that. You know?" He says, "I'm not a superstar. I am one of you." And ever since then, we've been like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I've only seen him twice. I was at the Minneapolis Music Cafe for Jelly Beans
Oh yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah. Yeah, I was there.
event. Nothing compares to P.
Yep.
And I saw Martin there, and I saw him at Starr Party 3.
Yeah.
And both times he absolutely blew both Paula and I absolutely away. So
Yeah.
just an incredible talent, incredible guy. And if I get him on the podcast, I'm gonna have him perform a little something because you
He'll do it. He'll do it for you too, Chris.
you can't not take the opportunity to have a phenomenal artist like that do
Man,
what they do best. So
he'll do it for you in a hot minute, man. I guarantee you that. He'll do it for you in a hot minute because he's just cool like that, you know? So
much love to Martin Kember. Great guy, and I'm with you, Alfonso. I like people that are easy to connect with and that are open to open to connecting with people like you and me who you know don't consider ourselves part of the you know elite.
I'm
They,
not. I'm
they,
not. I'm not. I'm just a fan. I'm just like everybody else. I'm just a fan.
yeah, I'm the
Okay.
same way, and that's why as I was telling you before we started the podcast, I struggle sometimes with how much exposure I really want the podcast and myself to get, through my work because I see what fame does to people, not only from the point of boosting their own egos too much, but also, attracting haters and, just, absolute venom and vitriol and, you know, people that scrutinize you and all that. I definitely don't want that for myself in my life. So
Right.
it's kind of, but like I told you before, I'm very grateful for the modest, um, extremely loyal following that the Purple Knights podcast does have, and
Yeah.
I'm grateful for everybody out there watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Thank you all so much.
Yeah, and you guys do, Chris and I a favor. You guys tell your friends and family about this podcast, because in advertising, the best form of advertisement is word of mouth.
Yes,
So
yes.
you guys tell your friends about it, man. Text your friends, tell them to listen to this podcast, man, because it's really good.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's kind of you. Those are very kind words. But yeah, we're all over social media platforms. We're on um, Facebook. We're on Twitter, now known as X, but I'm gonna always call it Twitter. I don't care what Elon says. But we're on TikTok now. We're on Instagram. So pretty much anywhere you can um, find social media, there's ways to connect um, to the Purple Knights podcast and help us spread the word and just
Absolutely.
spread the love and spread the appreciation for the legacy of the life and work of this phenomenal man and artist, Prince Rogers Nelson, and that's what I'm all about.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm very blessed to have the life that I do and the support system that I do and the family that I do and the friends that I do and you're part of that crew, Alfonso. So I appreciate you. Before I let you go, where can people get a hold of you on social media to learn more about your events and the work that you do there and in in the Bay Area?
Just look up Alphonso Starr, Alphonso, and then Starr, Starr on Facebook. I'm only on Facebook.
This is Chris Johnson on behalf of myself and Mr. Alfonso Starr. I'd like to thank you for watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And until next time, peace and be wild, everybody.
Thank you so much, Chris.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.